Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm proud to be here today to share an exciting development that speaks to our commitment to equity and to bridging the digital divide in Cook County. First, I'd like to acknowledge the individuals who've joined us here. Commissioner Kevin Morrison, who's chair of our Technology Committee, Commissioner Donna Miller, Commissioner Maggie Trevor, Commissioner Tara Stamps, Commissioner Dennis Deere. Commissioner Morrison, Commissioner Miller, and Commissioner Deere will be speaking. Kyla Williams-Tate, who's our Director of Digital Equity, Tom Lynch, who's Chief Information Officer for our Bureau of Technology, and Todd Schubel, who's Director of Geographic Information Systems, and Brittany Harkness, who's our GIS developer, who's back in the corner. Thank you all for your support. Today, as we kick off Digital Inclusion Week, we're unveiling a significant step forward. Cook County's first ever digital equity plan. As Kyla will explain in a moment, this plan is a strategic framework that lays out our path to ensure that every resident in Cook County, every resident, has equitable access to the digital infrastructure, devices, and tools that are essential in today's economy and society. So, we made a terrible mistake in this country, and we didn't decide that digital equity was a public utility. And so we're now addressing the challenges that have resulted from that decision at a national level. Our commitment to digital equity is unwavering because we understand that it impacts the economic well-being and social connections of every single resident. We also recognize that some communities face unique challenges in this regard. So basically what happened is the private companies that were responsible for providing digital access to everybody only did that in the most lucrative areas. And as a result, government has to step in to try to be sure that we all have equal access. That's why our digital equity plan is not just a document, it's a roadmap to a more inclusive and connected Cook County. It invites residents, businesses, and community organizations to work collaboratively in areas such as digital accessibility, confidence, safety, security, and infrastructure. To create this plan, we engaged extensively with communities across Cook County. Through that process, we learned an immense amount about digital accessibility in Cook County neighborhoods. And yet, while we gained new insights, a familiar map revealed itself once again. I often say we have one map in Cook County because when you pull up a map comparing almost any outcome, whether it's educational attainment, economic status, life expectancy, you invariably see the same picture. That map shows that across the south and west sides of Cook County, the areas that have the highest crime and violence rates are the same communities that suffer the most from poverty, have the most under-resourced public schools, have the least access to healthy food and quality health care. And yes, we found that digital equity and access to technology are no different. This map is why I work every day to advance the issues of equity at the county. Because your zip code should not determine how well you fare. Your zip code should not determine your life expectancy.
That's right.
Your immigration status should not bar you from accessing education or health care. And your race should not dictate your access to the digital world. The map I'm talking about is on full display today. In parallel with today's action plan, our Geographic Information System Division has also introduced an online digital equity map. This map is free to use, open to the public, and provides valuable insights into the relationship between socioeconomic conditions and access to broadband and other technologies. This map is a powerful tool, both practically and conceptually. It has the power to help partners enhance their community engagement and outreach strategies. It also has the power to provide residents with a comprehensive understanding of the factors influencing digital equity, both in their own community and throughout Cook County. And finally, this map has the power to redefine our perspective on digital access, its intersections, and move us toward action. Because once you clearly visualize the one map, we can make meaningful steps to change it. Stay tuned for a live demonstration of the digital equity map by our colleagues at the Bureau of Technology. That comes shortly. Today marks a significant moment in our ongoing commitment to a more equitable and connected Cook County. I'm grateful that you have all joined us today as we take this important step forward. All right, let me look and see who's coming next. I believe it's our chair.
Yes.
Where are you? Kevin Morrison. All right,
All
thank
right,
you
Kevin.
all. Please welcome Kevin.
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
I'm Kevin Morrison, and I'm the Cook County Commissioner representing the 15th District covering the northwest suburbs. I want to thank President Preckwinkle for inviting me here today and for all of your work to bring equity to the people of Cook County. As the chair of the Technology and Innovation Committee, I'm excited for the release of our first ever Digital Equity Action Plan as we begin our first Digital Inclusion Week. Everyone deserves the opportunity to use technology to live, learn, and thrive. This plan's framework will ensure that all Cook County residents will have access to digital tools and infrastructure. I am especially excited for the Bureau of Technology's new interactive digital equity map, which allows residents to gain insights about digital access in their communities. As the first openly LGBTQ+ commissioner, equity is a cause I take seriously. Equity leads to more opportunities for all to succeed, especially for those who have been marginalized. As we continue to advance in a digital age, it is crucial that we do not leave behind our most vulnerable as technology continues to evolve. When I was elected commissioner, the first thing I did was to help establish a commission on addressing bias, equity, and cultural competency here in Cook County, which helped support and inform a portion of the equity work that has been carried out by Cook County moving forward. In the years since, Cook County has worked hard to support equity across the board through both policy and practice, including hiring its first ever equity director and growing the department. I am happy to see this project added to the extensive amount of equity work being done throughout the county. It is representative of the county's commitment to supporting those in our communities who have gone without support for so long. As I continue to chair the Technology and Innovation Committee, I look forward to supporting the Digital Equity Plan and bringing its recommendations to fruition. I believe this plan will bring equity to all of our residents, and it is definitely demonstrating that we are committed to approaching everything here at Cook County with an equity lens. Thank you again, and with that, I would like to invite up my counterpart, Commissioner Donna Miller.
All right.
Thank you, Commissioner Morrison. It's great to be here with all of you. Good afternoon, and I'm Donna Miller. I'm Cook County Commissioner of the 6th District. I represent the South and the Southwest suburbs. And I want to thank President Preckwinkle for inviting us here today to celebrate Digital Inclusion Week and for making digital equity a priority in Cook County. All of us who are here as commissioners represent very diverse districts across all of Cook County, but one thing that can unite all of us is digital inclusion. Access to broadband internet is a necessity in today's world, and I'm thankful that we not only recognize it, but we're investing over $6 million to increase access, including investing in the extension of the Chicago Southland fiber network, which provides gigabyte broadband to government, education, healthcare, and businesses. These investments will help level the playing field in the South suburban communities I represent. Additionally, as mentioned, Cook County's first ever digital equity plan is now a reality, which creates the strategic framework to ensure all citizens have access to the tools needed to succeed in today's society. I'm also proud to have sponsored a resolution at our last board meeting in September declaring October 3rd as Social Media Safety Day in Cook County, which is tomorrow. And I'm particularly happy to see that one of the focuses in the county's digital equity plan is safety, because although access to high-speed internet and these applications such as social media help connect us, there are also dangers that we need to be cognizant of and be prepared to educate our residents, especially our youth, on how to safely use such tools. As a mom, I see this all the time, and we've seen it across the board. And I always say that Cook County is the second largest county in the country, so what happens here matters and can be a catalyst for similar policies throughout the country. The Digital Equity Plan and the investments we are making is another example of us leading the way. So again, thank you for inviting me here. I look forward to continuing working with the administration and all the partners who are here today, as well as the municipalities to support these very important investments. Next, I'll bring up Commissioner Dennis Deere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Good morning. Good morning. Or afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? Good afternoon then.
Good afternoon.
I always start by saying God is good
All the time.
and all the time.
God is good.
Amen. Madam President, I want to say thank you to you for launching Digital Inclusion Week. That is important. I want to say thank you for making equity the center of what the county has been doing over the last few years. Let's give her a round of applause for that. I'm grateful for this type of leadership because we have equity issues across the board. But technology is one that's kind of left out. In fact, when we think about the 5 social determinants of health, technology isn't even included. I think it should be a 6th social determinant of health. Why? Because as our hospital system begins to move towards apps and connecting with their patients, and et cetera, if you don't have access to the internet or you don't know how to use the internet, guess what? You're at a lack. What we see is places like where I represent, on the west side and the south side, in Inglewood and Lawndale and East Garfield Park, those are underserved communities. Technology is not at an all-time high there. You heard the president make mention of the fact that individuals' life expectancy typically is by zip codes. In Streeterville, the life expectancy is 90 years old. And Inglewood, guess what? It's 60 years old. A 30-year difference. Why? Because of social determinants of health. And access to technology is included in that. And so I'm grateful that the county is taking this step, not only just saying that we're doing it, but there is a roadmap and a plan and a whole week that's established for it. I love it. We're thankful, and it takes bold leadership in order to do the things that we've done. I'm grateful to be serving under a leader like Tony Preckwinkle. God bless you all. And next we have Kyla Williams-Tate, the Director of Digital Equity. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, so excited. I want to start by taking this opportunity to thank my husband who is here with me today, because digital equity is a family issue, right? So thank you for your support and your encouragement. And to my parents for having the foresight over 40 years ago to introduce technology at home. It has made a significant difference in my quality of life. So this summer, the President's office engaged in an ambitious campaign of outreach and engagement activities to discover digital equity gaps across Cook County. The strategy was built upon the foundation that President Preckwinkle and the Cook County Council of Digital Equity, or CODE for short, had established back in 2019. I want to thank President Preckwinkle for her leadership. President Preckwinkle prioritized advancing digital equity in Cook County prior to the pandemic or allocation of recovery funding, demonstrating our commitment to equitably address digital gaps in our community. My first order of business this spring was to quickly create a digital equity guiding team of champions across Cook County to help us create this moment of discovery. Many of them are with us today, and I want to take the time to acknowledge them. Our guiding team consisted of Alicia Clark from Prairie State College, Jamie Dornfeld of Aunt Martha's, Dwayne Douglas of Quilt NFP, Caroline Crozier of Latinx DLN, Esteban Rodriguez of Corazon Community Services, Dr. Laz Lopez of District 214, Vince Jones of District 205, Tracy Sylvester from Bloom Township, Agnes Schultz from YMCA Chicago, Rodney and Sonia Harrington of the River Oaks Community Education Development Corporation, and Kimberly Harris, school librarian in District 147.
All right.
They were an amazing team. A special thank you also goes to Jill Godfrey Sohoni from Circle Root Collaborative and Felipe Perez and Alejandro Sanchez from the Camino Group, who also provided support. So a big round of applause for them too. All of us together created a digital equity survey and traveled throughout Cook County, hosting community conversations with residents to discover barriers to access and really help to cultivate a vision for a future community with equitable access to internet devices and trainings. We hosted 12 community conversations, received over 3,200 surveys, with almost half of those coming from communities with the highest connectivity gaps. We also received close to 2,800 optional comments, and anyone who's ever done a public survey knows that that optional section sometimes goes blank. But we received 2,800 comments that contain powerful stories about residents' experiences and potential solutions to address digital equity gaps. Thank you to everyone who contributed to the process. We heard you, and this is what we learned. Access and affordability continue to be the highest concern from residents. This was consistent across the county and not dependent on income. Community conversation participants repeatedly cited limited provider options, low reliability, and poor service as barriers to their full access. Digital safety and security was a close second, with nearly 3/4 of survey respondents reported being concerned or very concerned about identity theft or online privacy. This concern was also strongly present across community conversations, with many respondents citing these concerns as one of the barriers to fully taking advantage of digital access. Technical knowledge and language access came up most strongly in our community conversations, where many participants cited a lack of technical knowledge, understanding, and vocabulary as a barrier to getting affordable, reliable service, as well as a barrier to making use of such services by going online and completing tasks. One of our survey respondents shared something that just really stuck with me. They shared, "The only reason I am lucky to have recently gotten access to the internet is because of the help I have received as a student. With school, job interviews, opportunity applications, etc., being done mostly online now, I am not sure what I would have done without access to the internet." No one should feel lucky to have access to the internet.
That's right.
And we endeavor to change that here in Cook County. We should not see families sitting in fast food parking lots late at night doing homework because they don't have access to the internet at home. So we took all of this information and data that we collected from residents, along with researching best and promising practices, conducted some stakeholder interviews, and we utilized all of it to inform the creation of Cook County's inaugural Digital Equity Action Plan.
All right.
And we are releasing this plan today on the first day of Digital Inclusion Week, which runs through October 2nd through the 6th. Digital Inclusion Week, which is powered by the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, is an annual week of awareness, recognition, and celebration, where organizations and individuals across the country host special events, run social media campaigns, and share their digital inclusion actions and progress. This is a historic moment of Cook County, for our residents. This year's Digital Inclusion Week theme of Building Connected Communities aligns well with the release of our plan, as it is based on a foundational tenet of building the Cook County digital equity ecosystem. This plan provides opportunities for a community-wide conversation to continue, led by interested residents and inviting our neighbors, our relatives, new and old friends. The inaugural Cook County Digital Equity Action Plan explores 4 cornerstones that address our focus on advancing digital equity. The first cornerstone is accessibility, which is ensuring that all residents can afford high-quality internet and devices and can access the tools and support to use them. The second cornerstone is confidence. We are ensuring that residents have the skills and comfort to navigate and use the internet to meet their needs and improve their quality of life. The third cornerstone is safety, ensuring that residents feel safe and secure in digital environments and can protect themselves online. And the fourth is infrastructure, ensuring that Cook County has sufficient physical infrastructure to support healthy, robust internet service for all. Each of the cornerstones has a set of 3 solution recommendations attached to them. So, for example, a recommended solution in the confidence cornerstone is build the learning ecosystem. Cook County will take a community-by-community approach to grow the digital equity learning ecosystem in all municipalities. And we think a good place to start is with our public libraries. There is an amazing digital skills training happening in libraries across Cook County. But in suburban Cook County specifically, we need to be better connected and leveraging resources to address gaps and advance digital equity goals together. Cook County is using this plan to share its commitments and chart a path forward for digital equity. But we can't do this alone. Our Digital Equity Action Plan is unique in that we have included worksheets to help you start your own community conversations in your households or neighborhoods, schools, block clubs, businesses, churches, community organizations, and libraries. Our GIS department has also created a digital equity map as a companion outreach and engagement tool for the plan. You'll hear more about the map shortly. To some, when you review this plan, it may feel a bit open-ended, and that's intentional. The specific policies, programming, practices, and evaluation metrics must be created in collaboration with community. We will be hosting some community town halls throughout the remainder of 2023 to gather feedback on the plan and to discover even more. An implementation plan to support the recommended solutions will be created in early 2024. We are grateful for the commitment from individuals and organizations within our community who recognize the importance of addressing digital inequities and whose collaborative spirits have been crucial in creating a plan that reflects the needs and aspirations of our diverse community. Special thanks to HR&A advisors for helping to bring this plan to life. We hope that you see yourself in the plan. Find your place in the plan as a consumer, a contributor, or a creator of digital opportunity. Take action using one of the worksheets included in the plan, and please share your feedback about the plan with us. And you can attend one of the many Digital Inclusion Week events that are happening this week. I will be doing a deeper dive into the plan tomorrow evening at Shy Hack Night, starting at 6 p.m. And on Friday, we have partnered with the Markham Public Library and CompuDot for a tech fair starting at 3 p.m. There will be ice cream, snacks, important, resources shared, and we're giving away 50 computing devices.
All right, that's great.
So to access the Digital Action Plan, the Digital Equity Map, or to discover our local Digital Inclusion Week events, please go to our homepage and simply search for Digital Equity and find our landing page, and all of that information will be there for your review. And lastly, in the words of the Digital Equity Director, let's connect. Thank you. Next up is Todd Schubel from our GIS department, who will do a demonstration of our digital equity map.
Thank you, Kyla. Thank you, President Preckwinkle. Thank you, Commissioners. Sorry about that. I want to welcome everyone here to view the inaugural display of our digital equity map that was prepared with Kyla. And I also need to recognize Brittany Harkness, who's in the back of the room, was the senior architect on this. A lot of the credit goes to her for developing this interactive website. So as you'll see here, the Digital Equity Map application allows users to view their communities and interact with the map to gain insight about contributing factors to digital equity. All of the variables that you see on the right side of the map display there have different degrees of influence on digital equity and are all taken from the U.S. Census Bureau. The primary map interface, shows all of Cook County there, and the numbers and the variables on the right side of the map that you'll see equate to those particular factors for all of Cook County. When you zoom in just a little bit there, you'll see a more granular display, and those divisions that you see in there, those are actually U.S. Census tracts. So you'll see those little squares and rectangles sort of popping up there. The user can select different variables to display on the map. So you'll see their broadband access, cellular data access, people with a disability, and people education, so people whether or not they have a bachelor's degree. And so there's several others that all contribute to digital equity or have an impact on digital equity in one way or another. If you want to find a particular geography, you'll see at the top of the menu there where it says Cook County, you can pan down and you can pick a particular municipality. So if you want to zoom in on, say, we're looking here, Calumet Park, you can zoom in and see those, notice that the numbers change inside the map display, so those will be the statistics for Calumet Park in particular. And if you are also want to search by an address, you can see there in the search bar right there at the top of the map, you can put in a particular address. I'm not sure what Brittany might be typing in. I think this is a library. Yes, so it's a library in Oak Lawn. So you have a library in Oak Lawn, so you can see the digital equity factors around that particular location. If we can zoom back out to Cook County, the whole, all of the digital, all of the calculations that were used and all the data was collected for this particular piece. If you pan down, you'll see there at the bottom where it says read here for methods, and then the other data that we have there from the U.S. Census Bureau, so it's taken directly from the U.S. Census Bureau, as I said. And if you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen, you can flip between English and Spanish. So the entire website will be translated into English or Spanish, and it's all mobile compliant as well. So if you look on your mobile device, here we're looking at a desktop screen. Some of the most interesting results that we saw from this came from, if we look back at the top here, one map that you'll see here is broadband access. So if we zoom in just a little bit there, the red color where it shows where there's higher broadband access, the blue or cooler color show where there's lower broadband access. Now remember, this is from the U.S. Census Bureau. So what they're showing here is households that responded to whether or not they have broadband access in their home. So whether they have a subscription to one of the major ISP providers. We can also see the inverse of that if you look at the cellular data internet access. So if you look at here, the blue areas are where you have a lower, or what you're looking at here is where people do not have broadband access, but only have access to the internet through their mobile device. So you can see here, if you flip back between the maps, if Brittany can do that for me, there's broadband, and then there's cellular. And it looks like the maps are almost a complete inverse of each other. So now, but I do want to note, do pay attention to the numbers that are on there. So cellular data access for the entire county is 11%. What that means is that you have 11% of Cook County, of residents of Cook County, are only using their mobile devices for internet access. That's not to say that everyone does have internet access on their phones. It's only that 11% only have internet access on their phones. And so I just wanted to make that clear. The same with the broadband access as well. If you click back to that one, I think the number I can see there is 72%. So 72% of the county has a internet subscription, a broadband subscription in their household. And these are 2021 numbers. So these are taken from the American Community Survey for 2021. And I think I'll stop there.
All right, that was great. All right, Nick.
Take some questions. Craig, WBBM, anything?
Yes, I know that Kyla talked about recommendations for one aspect, but the highest one is accessibility. Can you talk about what are some of the things that the county can and should be doing for giving people more access?
So one of the things that I would like to point out is that accessibility is not just accessibility to the internet or to devices, but it's also folks that need special accommodation for accessibility. So we're taking all of that into consideration in the accessibility opportunity. So I think that one of the solutions and not that I think, I know, one of the solutions in our accessibility track is around increasing access to public Wi-Fi. If you look at places like New York and others where they have Wi-Fi on the beach, Wi-Fi in public parks, and so helping us to create more opportunities for people to access public Wi-Fi is certainly on the agenda. Another opportunity is around subsidies, right? So right now there's a program called the American Connectivity Program, ACP, for Affordable Connectivity Program, ACP for short. It's a subsidized program through the federal government that for qualifying homes, you get a $30 subsidy to help on your internet service bill, right? But that funding is limited. It has not been extended as of yet. So we've raised our adoptability rates tremendously because of this affordability subsidy. But if it doesn't continue, all of the progress that we made, we're going to lose. So we are looking to be really innovative around all subsidized internet access programs, those that are provided through the ISPs, those that are provided through the federal government, and maybe considering something internally ourselves. We got to take it to community so that we can figure it out together.
Okay, and then the follow-up is to you, Madam President. And that
You're
is-
not going to ask any technical questions, are you?
I don't think so.
Good.
And that is, how much of this has to be worked out in conjunction with the municipalities? Obviously, you can wave not a magic wand, but.
I don't have one, no.
Yeah, would that you had, but I mean, for the suburban areas, but a lot of the people that you're talking about are also in the Chicago, in Chicago proper. How much of this has to be in concert with them?
I'll let you answer.
So this is a coordinated approach. Again, we are building our digital equity ecosystem, which means we have to do a community by community approach. As well as that, we are coordinating with the City of Chicago, so their Office of Digital Equity, as well as the Illinois Office of Broadband, Illinois Broadband Lab. We are all working very closely together, so many of the recommendations that you see in my plan also show up in the Chicago Digital Equity Plan and also show up in the Illinois Digital Equity Plan. So we are coordinating to create community. I'm, specifically here to manage the Cook County piece of it, but we're also convening our collar counties because we understand that today you can live in Cook County and tomorrow you can live in Will County and then you come back to Cook County. And so we want to ensure that there are pathways of access to the internet regardless of where you live, if you're exiting Cook County or coming in from another county, that we are collaborating in such a way that we're creating this larger regional ecosystem.
Madam President, I'm going to get a question you can't answer if it kills me.
All right, try again.
How is this, are you finding that you have to still convince people of how important this is? And I mean, in the region, of how much of an impact this has. Is this still an argument trying to pull people along?
No, I think there's a broad recognition that it's important to have access to the internet and technology. We just find, of course, that there are a lot of communities that don't have the resources to provide support to their residents themselves, and so we have to try to fill in the gaps in whatever way we can. And we're doing everything from laying fiber optic cable to working for PCs for people to get devices out to folks. So we have a broad spectrum of initiatives that hopefully support our local communities as they try to improve broadband access. Is that better? All right, good. All right, anything else?
Sometimes I think.
You have to speak up. You're not speaking up. Come on, you got either come closer or speak louder.
I believe the Director of Digital Equity mentioned that the implementation plan will come in early 2024. What steps have to happen between now and then to get
All right, come on.
So again, we're building our digital equity ecosystem, so we're going to continue to talk about that. So part one of that is sharing this plan, and we're socializing it across Cook County because we need that feedback. We want people to see themselves in the plan and where they fit, or if they're missing from it, and bringing that to our attention so that we can collaboratively design what our next steps should look like. Again, there's 4 areas of concentration, our 4 cornerstones, and then there's 3 recommended solutions under each of those. And so we're going to prioritize some of that because some of that can happen in the now, and some of that is going to be a longer stretch of work. And so we're going to collaboratively continue to get feedback, create that implementation plan, and start to implement as soon as we have consensus among community.